Hello and welcome to the Daily Mail for Thursday, the 17th of August 2023. In today's Millwall news, we start with George Long has long gone. This is from thepinkun.com. It's not a gay news site, it's a Norwich City fan site, much like News at Dinner. I think it's run by the local paper now, which would be the East Anglia Times or something like that. It looks pretty similar to their layout. So Norwich City transfer news. George Long signed on a free from Millwall. Free. So we didn't have to pay to get rid of him. It was a free. Thank God for that. So here we go. So Norwich City have confirmed the signing of goalkeeper George Long from Millwall. 29-year-old has joined the Canaries on a free transfer from the Den and will provide competition for first choice goalkeeper Angus Gunn, following confirmation of Tim Krul's exit to Premier League side Luton Town. So not guaranteed first place, has to compete for it. Long has signed a 2-year deal at Carrow Road and was identified swiftly by City as somebody who could fill the void left by Krul. A former England youth international, Long made 36 appearances for Millwall last season, but has fallen down in pecking order following their signing of Sarkic from Wolves earlier in the summer. That has led to Millwall sanctioning the move away after Rowett admitted to holding honest conversations with Long before the start of the season. He has been omitted from their matchday squads for the first two Championship matches of the campaign. Norwich, blah blah blah. I don't care about Norwich. That was it for George Long. Is there any more about George Long? Head coach David Wagner had it. We are really happy to bring George into our group and welcome him to the club. He has a great amount of experience at this level and is someone we believe can help in the development and progress of our younger goalkeepers. Long has also played over 100 games for Sheffield United, having graduated through their academy and featured 45 times a whole in the Championship back in 2019-20. During his time at Bramwell Lane, Long spent time out on loan with Oxford United, Motherwell and Wimbledon, where he impressed in their League One campaign prior to his move to Hull. He joined Millwall in 2021 after rejecting a new deal with the Tigers. Long was a part of the Lions side that fell just short of the Championship playoffs last season. And then they talk about Norwich again. So yeah, George Long has gone to Norwich, who we play this Sunday. More on that later. So there you go. What do we think? Well, let's hope this works out for all involved. Because we're probably going to find out pretty quickly that either George Long was the problem or he wasn't the problem, and it's actually the defence. Because there's not a lot of love for the defenders now. We can see the last 2 years we've had Danny Ballard coming in, we've had Charlie Cresswell coming in, and they've stood out as being bright sparks, having energy, having pace, having enthusiasm, which is lacking in the other defenders. Not only that, but they get injured often, except for Jake Cooper, who is an ever-present, even though he dislocated his shoulder twice. He is made of tough stuff, but the other two, Murray Wallace, Sean Hutchinson, getting injured quite a lot now. So yeah, they are showing their age. So we're going to find out, was it Long or was it the defenders? Because the new guy, he's come in, he only had one shot on target against him in Bristol City, and that was the goal right at the end. So he didn't save that. So you got to do what you got to do when you've got to do it. Which means if you have one shot on goal in the 99th minute, you got to make the save, especially if it's only 0-0. Because we're going to end up losing. So yeah, but George Long has left the building. And speaking of the new goalkeeper, here he is at southwarknews.co.uk. Goalkeepers have to have a thicker skin than most. Matija Sarkic, looking to thrive under the pressure at Millwall. The new man in between the sticks at the Den explained how he was planning to keep a calm head through the season. A new goalkeeper, Sarkic, said he would be keeping a cool head in the Millwall pressure cooker as he looks to drag the club up to the Premier League. The 26-year-old signed for the Lions from Wolverhampton Wanderers just days before the opening weekend of the season when he made his debut in a 1-0 win at He was then beaten for the first time by a stunning effort by Matty James at a deep in stoppage time as Millwall lost 1-0 to Bristol City. That is a good point. He didn't play in the cup game where we got absolutely smashed. He played in the 2 championship games and we only conceded 1 goal in 2 games. And we kept a clean sheet in the other one. So that is a good point. Sarkic is looking forward to the future where he hopes to achieve his career aims while at Millwall. He told News at Den. They did really well last season. The club is very stable and they've got a very good squad. He's from Grimsby, by the way. That was very attractive to me, and my ambitions are to get to the Premier League. And that aligned with the ambitions of the club, so that was a major factor for me. I had a conversation with the gaffer and the staff and Andy Marshall before joining, and the project they have here is very convincing and it's all very attractive. The keeper also said that being in London allowed him to be closer to his family who live in Belgium. Sarkic had been living in the Midlands for the past 7 years, but now arrives at the Den where expectation is high and a passionate and demanding fan base wants the club to push on. But the Montenegro international, who was born in England, in Grimsby, is confident that he can remain level-headed despite the inevitable ups and downs that Championship football will bring. He said, "As a goalkeeper, you're always under pressure as part of our job. You just have to learn how to deal with it and be mentally strong. It's important that to go too low with the lows and too high with the highs. You just need to have that stable mindset and always try to improve. So if you do make a mistake, and we do have that little blip, we'll try and rectify that as quick as possible for it not to happen again. I think that's the only way through, and you're always going to get stick off people, and people will have opinions, but that's just part of life, isn't it? You learn to deal with the pressure. Goalkeepers have to have a thicker skin than most people. You could have a striker and not have their best game and then score a goal, and you're the hero. Whereas as a goalkeeper, you can have an unbelievable game, but then you let one in at the end and you're a villain. Sarkic has already had a taste of life at Millwall when he was at Stoke City and the Lions came to Staffordshire in February last season. The London club will win 1-0, and one of Sarkic's abiding memories of the game was the scenes in the away end. He said, Millwall's a great club and the fans are great. Even on the last game at home to Bristol City, we lost, but the atmosphere was real. When I was at Stoke last season, we played Millwall and we lost 1-0, but I just remember the fans behind me being really loud and really ambitious and enjoying themselves. So that stood out for me as well, so I wanted to be part of that. For now, Sarkic's goal is keeping clean sheets for the Lions, and he's happy with his efforts in the first 2 league games of the season, despite having very few saves to make so far. He said, the boys in front of me have been very good, and it's not the first time I've heard people say he's had no saves to make. When I was at Birmingham, I had the same thing. I'm not blowing my own trumpet here, but one of my strong points is organising, and my philosophy is if I can organise the players in front of me, it stops actions happening before they're actually threats. So if I can organise the players in front of me, they can nullify the threat, which means I have less to do, which means I've done a good job, and they've done a good job, and obviously I want to showcase what I can do. But if I had less saves to make, it means less danger. Indeed. Talking about organising the players in front of me, he did a very good job of organising Jake Cooper, if you watch the highlights of the Bristol City game. By the way, Millwall started putting him back on YouTube for some reason. They stopped doing it, and now they're doing it again. So you can watch the Bristol City highlights on YouTube. But a little note, I don't know if you know this, but other clubs have their own media. So if we ever get into a situation where you can't find it from Millwall, just go to the other side, and then they'll probably have it. And they'll have highlights as well. And some clubs put out the long version of highlights on YouTube, but Millwall only do. They put out the long version highlights on Millwall TV Plus, so it's behind the paywall on the Millwall website. But if you watch the highlights from the Bristol City game, you'll see Sarkic reorganising Jake Cooper by pushing him out of the way as he's trying to make a save. So not backwards in coming forwards, as he says. He needs to organise the players in front of him. Yeah, that means pushing them out of the way. So there you go. Talking of players leaving, leaving on loan. New deal and loan move for Mill's Alex Mitchell. So here we go. As expected, I think it's a good move for him because obviously he's been in the National League on loan. He's been in League 2 on loan. He was very good at Leyton Orient. He's been at St Johnstone, which was kind of weird. He did really well. And then he was dropped from the team, and then they started losing. Wow. Then you would think maybe they'll put him back in. Like you were doing well, now you're starting to lose. Hello. Maybe there was some kind of contractual thing that if you made a certain amount of appearances, they had to pay a fee. Because we know clubs drop players for financial reasons. If they have to pay certain fees to players or clubs. and they will just drop the player, even if it shoots themselves in the foot, which is absolutely stupid. So I don't know why he was dropped at St Johnstone, but when he was, they started to lose, even though the St Johnstone fans voted him for their Young Player of the Year. So he's done it all these different leagues. He's now going on loan to League One side. So this is from millwallfc.co.uk, the club's official website. A new deal on loan move for Millwall's Alex Mitchell. Millwall Football Club is delighted to announce that defender Alex Mitchell signed a new contract with the club. The 21-year-old started his journey with the Lions back in 2016 and was voted Academy Schoolboy of the Year in his first season. With one senior appearance for the Lions against Cambridge United in the Carabao Cup in 2021. The young defender has also enjoyed loan spells at Bromley, Leyton Orient and St Johnstone, making 69 appearances across the three clubs. Nice. Mitchell will continue with his development and experience of first team football by joining Sky Bet League One side Lincoln City on loan for the 23-24 campaign. So this is a season-long loan. Unlike, I think, Joe Wright's loan is a season-long loan, but the other two are 6 months loan, I think. So yeah, season-long loan. The club would like to congratulate Alex on his new contract and wish him the very best of luck during his time with the Imps. Keep up to date with the progress of Mitchell and the Lions' other loanees in Millwall's weekly loan watch feature, which of course I'll bring you on here at the end of the day in the daily videos that I do. So we've had, over the past 3 days, we've had Tyler Bureys leaving for Denmark. We've had George Long leaving, and we've now got Alex Mitchell going out on loan. So some people are saying, well, that's obviously going to free up some wages. We can bring a player in, maybe on loan, maybe a defender on loan, because we've had a defender on loan for the past 2 years in terms of Danny Ballard and Charlie Cresswell. So is that what's coming? Are we going to get another player coming in through the door? Well, today we were linked with this player. This is from footballleagueworld.co.uk. So it's an exclusive, by the way, but this is a kind of clickbaity website. So take it with a pinch of salt, but here we go. Sunderland, Millwall and QPR in race to sign Fulham player. Well, there's a lot of difference there between those three clubs. One is a genuine playoff contender, one is hoping to be, and one is in a relegation dogfight. Sunderland, Millwall and QPR are all keen on Fulham forward Jay Stansfield. Why would we be keen on a forward? Why indeed? Is Zion Fleming going to leave to Burnley? Is that still coming back? Is Kevin Nisbet seriously injured because he limped off in training the other day? I don't know. Why are we looking at forwards if this is true? I mean, it might not be. It might just be bullshit. So Jay Stansfield, I'm assuming he's the one on the right. I don't know. Fulham's Jay Stansfield is attracting interest from clubs like Sunderland, Millwall and QPR who are looking to sign a highly rated 20-year-old attacker. Stansfield has shown his potential with impressive performances and goals during his loan at Exeter in League One. So it's a player who's been proving himself at League One. The player's priority is to secure regular playing time on clubs like Sunderland, Millwall and QPR could provide the opportunities he needs to continue his development in the Championship. So it looks like Fulham are trying to loan him out to a Championship club because he's already proven himself in League One. So now the next step is Championship. So maybe they sent out a thing to all the Championship clubs saying, we're looking for a loan for Jay Stansfield. We want him to play at Championship level. Anyone's interested? And then Millwall said, yeah, we might be. Depends on the terms of the deal. So it seems that Millwall aren't going after him. They're being offered him, and they haven't said no. That might be what's happening. Who is Jay Stansfield? The 20-year-old came through the ranks at Exeter before signing for Fulham as a teenager in 2019. Has gone on to make 8 appearances for the Cottagers, including 3 in the Premier League. Whilst he remains highly rated, the reality is that he wouldn't get regular minutes at Craven Cottage, so a loan to Exeter was sorted last season. Yeah, he was the one on the right because that's him there on the floor, so that's the guy on the right. It was an emotional move for Stansfield. He was the son of Grecian's favourite Adam, who sadly passed away in 2010. The youngster excelled in League One, scoring 9 goals in 36 games, whilst he impressed with his all-round game. and made him constant threat to the opposition. Now back with Fulham, Stansfield has been with Marco Silva's side for pre-season, and he was an unused substitute in their opening day win over Everton. Blah 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 blah. However, Football League World can confirm that a move is on the cards for the player before the deadline, with Sunderland, Millwall, and QPR having all registered their interest in the player. Yeah, so it looks like what I said. Fulham are trying to get him a loan at the Championship club, and all these teams have said, yeah, we might be interested, depending on how the deal is structured. Which I guess is a smart move for Millwall to say. Like, don't say no. If there's a club offering you a player who might be pretty decent, don't say no. Say, oh yeah, maybe. Let's have a cup of coffee and talk about it. So Fulham are willing to let Stansfield go to continue his development, but they're waiting for Mitrovic's situation to be sorted. Well, that's not going to be sorted until the middle of September because the Saudi League transfer window shuts on, I think it's the 22nd of September, whilst in England the transfer window closes on the 1st of September. However, there is an expectation that Mitrovic's future will be resolved in the next week or so, which should open the door for Stansfield exit, as well as the Championship trio. There is interest in League One, so Fulham won't be short on options when they plot the next move for their exciting talent. Well, I don't think they wanted to go back out on League One. Which clubs need to sign Stansfield? He's got 7 assists last season in League One, proving he's someone who can link play and has an eye for a pass. Sunderland seem an obvious fit with their style of play. Meanwhile, Millwall and QPR both in need of attacking reinforcements. Realistically, the perspective of the player, he needs to be playing week in, week out. The fact that he moves to Exeter shows how Stansfield values game time, and his performances in the third tier proved he's ready for the step up. Blah 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 blah. So there you go. Being linked with Jay Stansfield. So we'll see how that turns out. Now we've got a trio of stories with Gary Rowett quotes. I'm going to start off with this one from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Millwall boss comments on Jake Cooper's situation amid transfer speculation linking to Rangers, Leeds and West Brom. So this is from South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk. Millwall manager Gary Rowett has reaffirmed the Championship's club desire to secure Jake Cooper on a new contract. The 28-year-old centre-back is inside the final 12 months of his then deal and has been linked with Rangers. West Bromwich Albion and Leeds United were also mentioned earlier this week as admirers of Cooper, who has played 303 matches for the Lions. We want Cooper to sign a new deal, Rowett told the South London. It's been well documented that he's got a year left, and there's been quite a lot of speculation out there. But as far as we're concerned, our focus is on signing a new deal. At this moment in time, we're still in those discussions, and we're hoping it's something we can conclude. Short and sweet, that was it. I didn't read this before showing it to you, but that is literally it. So, I guess it's probably... Do we know how many views this has had? No, I guess it's just... Because everything about the Jake Cooper situation has come from the other side. Like, boom, Rangers are doing this, Leeds are doing this. So we need someone from the other side batting for Millwall, speaking from the Millwall side, and that's what Richard Cawley at the South London Press is doing. So there we go. Now moving on to this from southwarknews.co.uk. Okay. Millwall boss provides a robust defence of his tactics after Bristol City defeat. Yes, here we go again. It's not the tactics, says Gary Rowett, as we lose badly and it's boring because we're playing 5 at the back. Formations and systems have been a big talking point among fans, with some wanting a return to the back 4. Gary Rowett has given a staunch defence of his back 5 formation following last week's loss to Bristol City. Some fans had it out of his tactics and urged the Millwall boss to return to the more traditional back 4 which the club has made for most of the season. But Rowett has backed his ideas and pointed to the opening day win at Middlesbrough and April's triumph at Blackpool, when he surprisingly switched to back 5 as evidence that the formation does work. Yeah, it does work. The 2 games you just mentioned there, Gary, are away games. Away games. Nullifying the opposition in away games is what you're supposed to do. Why are you playing it at the Den? The Lions manager even referenced Manchester City as he sought to explain why one system is not objectively better than the other. He told News at Den, "Oh, it's just a preference as a manager for certain games. Everyone has an opinion, and everyone's entitled to an opinion. If you pay your money, of course, you can have whatever opinion you want. And I'll get that, and I respect that massively, particularly our own fans. But if you look at the last 10 games, our two best performances have been Blackpool away and Middlesbrough away. We played the back five in both. Did anyone sit there after the second half against Blackburn and say, I'm really glad we played a back four because it worked a treat? It's a talking point. It's something I think about all the time. In certain games, it suits us. We've spoken about the flexibility. We spoke about our home form, and our home form has been largely with a back four, and it's not been as good as we want. So as a manager, you're trying to do something about it and find solutions. Against Bristol City, we didn't do that, but for me, it's not just a formation. Man City play a back five in the Champions Final and won. Does the back five suit us? I think that's an opinion. That's something I've always looked at. I know it's a hot topic of conversation. It's not for me to say right or wrong. But I'm not going to sit here and justify my tactics on a weekly basis, whether we've won or lost, as I don't think that's the right thing to do either. So there you go. It's not the tactics. Man City play a back five, and look at them. So yeah. And the two examples he listed are away games. So, and that's the thing, it's not just the back four. It's like, how are you going to do it? Do you play 4-1-4-1? Do you play 4-3-2-1? Like, what do you do after the four? Is anyone going to drop back? Because we've got Casper De North. He seems pretty good at dropping back, so you can have him dropping back. You can play 4-2-4. Just fucking bomb it forward. We've got the players with pace now. We've got SA and Maku. We play 4-2-4. So yeah, I don't know. But here he goes again. He's gone back to the formation and he's blaming the four. So he's like, but here's the thing. If we hadn't switched to four, we wouldn't have been in anywhere near the playoffs. So don't start being all weird that, that's the reason we didn't get in the playoffs, because it was a back four. I imagine it's what the fuck you said to them at half time against Blackburn. Whatever you said. You probably said, you probably didn't say anything. You said, let's just keep it like this. Don't go too crazy. We're gonna win this one easy. Just relax. Yeah, that worked out well, didn't it? So there you go. Not only is it about the formation, it's about what you say to players at half time when they're winning 3-1 in a game that's about to propel them into the playoffs, and we end up losing 4-3. So yeah, it's not just about the formation, it's also about man management. Moving on to the last of the stories. Gary out talking about Tyler Bureys. There should be a picture there that hasn't loaded. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Millwall boss gives his verdict on Tyler Bureys' transfer to Odense. Millwall manager Gary Rowett reckons that a change of environment could bring out the best in Tyler Bureys after the winger left Millwall earlier this week. The 22-year-old has signed a 3-year contract with Danish club Odense, joining for an undisclosed fee. And the Lions have a sell-on included in the deal. It's a really good opportunity for Tyler to get his career back on track and really experience something new, Rowett told the Southwark press. I think the football side of things could really suit him. He's a talented young player, we know that. He just needs regular game time and maybe just a change of environment. It's a good move for all parties. Hopefully he goes and shows what he's all about. Bureys told Odense's website, I'm ready to work hard and do the best I can for the team. I will go for it against any player in one-on-one situations, and that's where my talent lies. I'm looking forward to showing what I can do with the ball. He scored 3 goals in 58 hours for Millwall after signing from AFC Wimbledon in 2019. Yeah, someone said on one of the forums, it might be good for him because he probably won't understand the Danish fans when they're slagging him off because they'll all be in Danish. So he can just crack on and think, they like me. They're cheering me on. But that's not cheers, my friend. That's not cheers. Moving on to this, the club putting out a post bragging about how many season tickets you've bought. Not they didn't sell them, you bought them. So give yourself a pat on the back. Well, here the story didn't load. Let's try and refresh it and bring it up. Don't you just hate when that happens? I know what this has happened all the time though. You know what I think it is? It's these stupid pop-ups that they keep putting on their official website now. I think they're fucking with the loading of the stories. Do you get that anytime you go on the OS? They've always got a pop-up trying to sell you the away kit, a home kit, going to watch the Women's World Cup final. More on that at the end of the video. Millwall Football Club has enjoyed record season ticket sales in 23-24. With the new campaign marking 30 years at the Den, fans have shown their remarkable support to celebrate the landmark year. The Lions smashing all records in selling nearly 9,000 season tickets, almost 1,000 more than last year. To back up that statistic, here are some more. Over 1,000 sales were achieved in just one 24-hour period. Now, was that because the computers went down and you had to hold it back? Be honest, the club have 1,600 new season ticket holders this season. Aha, new people, new fresh meat. The future of Millwall in safe hands as the Lions have a younger average age of season ticket holders than last year, with 10% more under 18s and 18 to 21s. Yes, I believe that there's a bit of a baby boom going on. You may have noticed there's plenty of 2 and 3 year olds around now. Because of the lockdown, people couldn't go anywhere, so they just stayed inside fucking each other and having babies. So there is a little mini baby boom going around, I think. Almost so. What would that mean? In around about 2030, they'll be 10 years old. So look for them to start featuring in the youth team around 2035. Where are we at? Almost 90% of season ticket holders from last season have already renewed. So 10% didn't, which sadly is either, you would imagine it's either financial reasons with the economy going a bit tits up, or sadly passing away. So 10%, that's quite a lot. A lot of people dying. That is a lot. There are 800 plus of you who have been season ticket holders for 15 plus years. So 800 of the people that you see there have been going 15 years in a row. Oh, that's plus, longer than that. Here's a thing. I don't know how many people, Millwall, if you're going to do a story about 30 years at the Den, how many people have been a season ticket holder at the new Den every year for 30 years? Because you're saying there's 800 who have been a season ticket holder for the last 15 years. How many for the last 30 years? You think it's more than 100? Maybe. I reckon probably around 225, maybe. The Den sold out 5 times last season with the help of all Millwall season ticket holders. More and more have secured their seat for 23-24, anticipating more. Missed out, don't worry, you can still get your 23-24 season ticket to enjoy your space for every game. Yeah, well, I think it's the same price, so don't drop it per rota. Although, I don't know if a fair few people, if we're riding high, and around about Christmas time, obviously they do half season tickets. So if you're a bit shrewd and a bit canny, you wait until half season tickets come out, see where the team's at, or see where the fixtures, what you're going to get, because obviously the Leeds home game is before then. There are various other games before then, so you can do that. But yeah, incredible. 9,000 season tickets sold, which, doing a bit of quick math, what does that leave for? That leaves what? You've got the away stand that holds 3k, so I think that's like only about 3 to 4,000 seats that can be sold on general sale. So I think we might be looking for a fair few more sellouts. Going ahead and talking of sellouts, I told you that's why I wasn't doing this last season, but I started to do it at the end when the tickets were selling out. Trying to let you know when the tickets are going on sale, like the Leeds tickets. I told you, I think it was yesterday's video. Leeds tickets go on sale. Because because obviously that's a game that a lot of people want to go to, and you might miss out if you're a bit slow. Even though if you generally, when Millwall was shit, you were going all the time. Now you might miss out now because a lot more people are trying to get those tickets, and there seems there's only like 3,000, 4,000 tickets that aren't already sold to season ticket holders. So, but speaking of tickets, here we go. Once again, bringing you news. So Birmingham away on Saturday, the 2nd of September, kick off at 12:30 p.m. And tickets will go on sale to season ticket holders from Friday, so tomorrow, Friday. And then tickets will go on sale to members from Tuesday the 22nd, so next Tuesday. If you want to go to Birmingham away, it's been moved to the daytime because the last two occasions have been a bit of fisticuffs, which led to one Millwall fan in the last fixture being hospitalised and having some serious medical problems resulting from that. Hopefully he's on the mend, but I think it's still not a good scenario. So yeah, there you go. They're 30 quid, and there's all the details there. Initial allocation of 1,000 tickets. So coaches will leave at 7 a.m. from the Den. The price at £28. So there you go. Just letting you know when the tickets go on sale. Now, here we go. Now, I couldn't believe this when I saw this. There were calls in the morning for our game against Norwich on Sunday to be moved. Why? Why? Because apparently there's some women's football competition happening in Australia, and England have made the final. Apparently, I don't know. Don't know nothing about it. Haven't watched a second of it. Don't know anyone who's watched a second of it. In fact, I was in the pub the other day, and someone asked if they put it on. No one was watching it. And the geezer asked, "Can you turn that off?" So what can you do? But apparently, the club, Millwall, they keep going about, "Oh, we're fighting for the fans. We're doing all we can to fight these fixtures being changed. We oppose them." MSC as well, Millwall Supporters Club, like, "Oh, we wrote a strongly worded email to the safety advisory group and all this." Well, apparently Millwall were happy to sell you out and get the game moved. They agreed to it, and Sky said, "Yeah, no, fuck that." So this is from the Daily Telegraph, isn't it? I think it is, but it's Daily Telegraph or the Telegraph, whatever they call themselves. Sky Sports have resisted calls to shuffle the men's fixture schedule on Sunday to allow fans to watch the Lionesses in the World Cup final. It's the World Cup final. Norwich host Millwall at Carrow Road in a noon kick-off on Sunday, and both clubs were open to the prospect of moving the fixture back an hour so supporters could tune in. So yeah, if you had a specific train ticket that was non-refundable, fuck you. Millwall said, fuck our fans. Fuck the 2,000 Millwall fans are going to the game. Even though we haven't won there in 60 years now. Yeah, fuck them. Move it by an hour. That's fine. However, meeting between clubs, the AFL and Sky Sports led to various senior figures agreeing Sky commitments must be honoured. So all relevant stakeholders were consulted in considering this decision, as with all the decisions of this nature, Sky source said. So Sky actually being the hero and not the villain in this occasion, because they agreed they are not going to fuck the fans over at the 12th hour. So there you go. The Championship fixture is the only major fixture guaranteed to clash directly with England's 11 a.m. fixture against Spain, which is being shown live on both BBC and ITV. However, moving the fixture would then impact on the Sky's other scheduled fixtures for the day, which include Aston Villa against Everton kicking off at 2 p.m. That's probably really why they didn't do it, because they didn't want to fuck up the Premier League game. But they just, at least they said they didn't want to fuck up Millwall's game, and that's all that matters to me. But according to the Daily Telegraph, there's no quote there. It just says both clubs were open to the prospect of moving the fixture back an hour. Well, here's an idea. If you have a ticket for this game and you want to watch the Women's World Cup, give your ticket to someone else and stay at home and watch the fucking game. Like, if you would rather watch that game than Millwall at Norwich, go and watch it. You go and watch it. You go and watch it. And then the rest of us who support real football, or real Millwall fans, can go to Carrow Road or can watch it on Sky Sports. How about that? Thank you very much. Bruh, if my daughter was playing this game, I would still watch the Millwall game. Enough said. Yeah, I just thought I would show you because I thought it was like the club are always like, oh, we were fighting against the police who wanted to change the fixture. We know this is upsetting for the fans. Like, it's annoying for the fans. Like, bro, they would fucking move it with 3 days' notice. Move it back an hour. Would they have compensated everyone for their train tickets if they couldn't get a refund them? If they couldn't move it to a later train, would they have done that? Doubt it. In fact, I think the fucking trains aren't even running. Some of them because it's a strike. So there you go. There you go. And on that note, thank you for watching. Goodbye.